We are here at the Global WIL Economic Forum, and we have these wonderful gathering of amazing women, inspirational women, people who are changing the world, moving the needle, and really just being themselves. And there's a lot of energy and empathy and kindness also here. And in this midst, we have this beautiful gem of a person who has kindly agreed to join us. And this is Sara. Sara, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me. You should do my PR.
Absolutely. Anytime. That'd be so easy. That'd be the easiest job in the world.
Thank you.
Sara, what do you do? I know you're a journalist, but that doesn't really describe you at all. What do you do in your life?
So it's quite accurate. I am a writer. I work part-time at Google. I have it's like a blog that they run called Think with Google, and it's all about digital marketing. So that's kind of my part-time day job from 9 to 1. But then I have a travel blog that's very dear to my heart called Holidays and Heels, which you can find on Instagram.
Okay.
And it's where to go with what to wear when you're there, and you can directly click and buy the item. So it's got an indirect e-commerce element. Yeah. And lastly, I am a mother, which is the hardest and most rewarding job of all, of a little boy named Adam.
So you're a super mom. You're obviously, and I can see the cape flowing behind you as you
one
fly
more
into the
I
world.
left out.
Yeah.
And I'm a columnist at Al Arabiya English.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes. So I spend a lot of time in front of my laptop.
Brilliant. But, well, I guess we all do it in some way or the other. What brought you here to this WIL Forum, and what inspires you, and what kind of people did you meet here that you'll take away with you?
You know, I'm going to be really honest with you because you're also in a similar field. But I used to always think that women-oriented conferences can be quite a cliche, and is there really a necessity to have them? Because if you're good at what you do at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter if you're a man or a woman. But especially after having a child, I have to say that I find these conferences more important than ever because it's how a community forms. It's where you find your support network, and it's how you understand how other women, other successful people are managing their lives between work and children and all the other demands of what it means to be a modern woman. So for me, the biggest takeaway is just I'm not alone, and that there are others who are doing really amazing things that I can learn from.
Yeah, and I think as a mother, you have a new inspiration. And to be a role model to your child, let alone just be a role model outside, does that inspire you in some way?
It inspires me so much. It's a learning experience. I want him to understand that men and women are both strong. I want him to see how my husband supports me. My husband was just here taking pictures of my panel. And that if both the mother and father are fulfilled in what they do, they'll create a happy home. I want him to be able to feel like he can do whatever he wants.
So if little Adam, when he is 12 years old, gets a project from school saying, how do you remember your mother, and what does she do, and how does she make a difference in the world, what would you say, or what would he be saying?
I want him to say that his mother always made him a priority, and he benefited from having somebody who is strong in the house and able to juggle a lot of different facets of her life, but still very clear on priorities. And hopefully I will still be in good enough shape after, running after him so much all the time now, to take care of my health so that I can live and be there for him to the best of my ability.
But beyond him, what would he be proud of and saying, my mom did this? What would he be saying?
I want him to see that I've paved the way for other Arab women to feel like they can really succeed in media. I feel like I worked really hard in my family to make the concept of a writer very acceptable. I went to the right school, got the right job at a bank after college, and it wasn't the career for me, and it was very tough for me to kind of convince the people around me that being a writer is something that is worth my time. So I want him to feel very proud. I want him to see that there are many others in the industry, just a lot of different faces of women who are strong and reporting on important issues.
Yeah. You seem to me to be scary perfect. You've done all the right schools, you got a 1.1 kid and 1.1 husband and everything, and you're successful and you're doing really wonderful things. Can you just tell us about some of the failures and challenges that you had in your life? Did you have any?
Thank you for saying that, first of all. The word perfect, I think, is quite dangerous. It comes with a lot of pressure. It's something that I struggle with every day. I think I've always been a very driven person, and that's part of my personality. So yes, I do work very hard. I've also had a lot of luck in terms of the different job opportunities that came my way. So hard work meeting luck. But it's also about having a really strong support system. So I have a family that is incredibly supportive. My husband, my parents, that make it easy for me to do the kind of work that adds value. And again, I will go back to this word perfect. The first 6 months after I had my son, I wasn't sure if I would ever work again, because in media, if your name is not, your byline is not there for a while, people forget you. I put a lot of pressure on myself. It was a really difficult time, and until now I think it's very much a balancing act. So I appreciate you saying that. I feel like it's a snapshot.
I'm being genuinely provocative in the sense I want to find the authentic response is that in your life, have there been deep challenges, failures that you've fallen over, you've got up? Because part of our learning and development process is also to make mistakes and make those as learning opportunities. So as a young, successful woman, is there anything that you would like to share or like to comment on that you've encountered in life, which people would be inspired by?
Yeah, I think success cannot happen without several failures. I've definitely had my fair share, whether it's taking jobs that I did not do well in and it broke my confidence. Having terrible bosses that, the movie was probably based on them, that led me to develop a thick skin. Having stories that are published and then getting severe backlash from the public. Having health scares for myself and for my family. If you're not in good health, you can't do anything from your bed.
That's true.
So absolutely, for every beautiful moment that you see that looks great of me speaking on stage about accomplishments, beneath that, it's like a tree with roots. I'd say there are about 10 failures that have led to that.
Indeed. You work at Google. What are the sort of things that you do there? I know you work part-time there, but it's an amazing opportunity to connect with such amazing minds. What is your role there, and what can we see? Where could we find it?
So I was quite fortunate that after I had the baby, first I took on a job with a horrible boss that led me to decide I did not want to go down that route. The work that I do at Google part-time is they have a content marketing project called Think with Google Mina. It's like a blog-like site that's all about digital marketing. They have a UK edition, US edition, France, Germany. So they've got Think with Google Mina, and I'm the editor of that site. So I call upon my journalistic skills to research and interview and write stories, and it's all about things like cool YouTube campaigns and the top viewed ads on YouTube. So I'm there kind of as a contributor for this concept that they just launched a year ago.
Okay. How do you see yourself evolve in the next 5 to 10 years from where you are today?
I used to have very studied answers to this question, but I realize in the industry that I'm in, it's so dynamic that even if I did have a plan, 6 months down the line, it would switch. If you asked me even a year ago if I would be working in marketing at a company like Google, I would probably say, no, I don't think I'm the right fit for that. I was working at a fashion magazine before that. I think that for me, if I'm writing, I will be happy.
Okay. So let me ask you a more difficult question then. Let's assume today is your 80th birthday, and we're coming here to celebrate your life and all your achievements. What will we be celebrating? What will Adam be celebrating that Mum has achieved the following in the last 50, 60 years?
Well, aside from impressing everyone with how much chocolate cake I can eat, I just want to be healthy. I want to feel content with what I do. I have a very strong drive and I always want to do more. I've taught myself to scale back and feel like what I'm managing now is enough. I'd love to write a book. I would love to have a TV show like Ellen. I have grand dreams and I have little dreams for every day. But the base is I just want to have written something of true substance that will last and to be healthy.
Brilliant. Any final advice to the ladies at the WIL Forum here to take away, to use tomorrow morning as they go out into the world?
Yeah. I think my biggest learnings are it's okay to say no. Have an amazing support network around you, friends and family, nannies, and just stay true to exactly what you want to do and don't waver from that. I love writing, and I hope to always be able to do that and to have the people around me to support it.
Wonderful. So is there anything I missed that you'd like to say, that we'd like to capture in this thing?
Just the point of not putting too much pressure. I think that women feel like they need to be so great at everything that they do. And as you said before, it can make it seem like there are some role models of, how does she do it all?
Yeah.
But the reality is that it's just piece by piece, and you have to take each day as it comes. And it's just about finding that balance. And even if sometimes my work is amazing, my home life isn't. Sometimes home life is doing well,
Yeah.
It's just that balance. I hope that comes across.
So, real pleasure.
Thank you, Tarek.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.